Okay, let's get this show on the road, shall we? Hello everyone, welcome back. For today I'm gonna have for you guys a single match taken from the Korean servers. And it involves two players that, well, it's getting kinda rare to see replays from them getting released publicly. Basically, they need to keep all of their strategies and playstyle hidden the best way they can so they don't release replays. So I was more than thrilled and excited when I saw this replay getting released that will allow us to see a TVZ battle between two of the finest players in the whole world. We're gonna have spawning here on this bottom left position this blue Zerg that, well, what can I say, it's IMNestea. Do I really need to present this guy? 3 times champion on the GSL. He's one of the Brood War veterans that transitioned very successfully to Starcraft 2. Back in the Brood War days his nickname was Zergbong, a nickname that I just love, I find it awesome. And since then, Nestea transitioned into Starcraft 2, and it has been dominating the scene. This guy is top 3 in the whole world, in my modest opinion, and he's probably the finest Zerg in the whole Starcraft 2 universe currently playing this game. Let's see if any contender shows up in the future, but for now he's just dominating. The guy is just impressive to see him play. He's gonna be facing against a big contender here. Quite a solid Terran, but he hasn't been getting the best result lately. It's this red Terran spawning on this bottom right position and going by the name of Jinro. Member of Team Liquid, one of the very good Terran players playing Starcraft 2, but like I was stating, I remember him having some very good results in the past on the GSL, being a force to be reckoned amongst all the Korean pros, and then he kinda got into a slump and things haven't been going very well for Jinro since then. So I'm still hoping for him to explode on the scene once more and show everyone that, well, yes, he was in kind of a slump, but he's evolving his game and getting ready to his top shape, to his A game, to start showing the Korean pros that he has what it takes to face any player on the planet. And well, he's gonna have an interesting chance here to do so, because he's gonna be facing one of the finest players in the planet. Jinro, as you guys know, has been living in Korea for quite a long time now, and he's one of the few foreigners staying there. He's been staying on the OGS house, so I'm hoping to see more good things coming out of him in the future. Now, taking a look at what's going on the game. Well, there was that fast hatch on the natural exo from Nestea, while on Jinro's side he got the first racks out, and apparently he's getting a couple of Marines out, also an SCV heading onto Nestea's way. Not sure exactly what his plan is, but this is not much of a force to get Nestea stressed about it or worried about it. There it is, trying to land the bunker close to the hatchery with the first drone arriving on the mineral line, and there it is, bunker down. Now we're gonna have the first Marine arriving here. He was trying to poke a bit on that Overlord, but well, didn't do much. And now all the workers from Nestea showing up here, the drones getting pulled down from the mineral line on the main base and trying to defend against this couple of Marines that already got up at least a couple of kills, but I don't think he's going to be able to even reach the bunker. As you can see, already the first couple of Zerglings is out helping out the drones, and they're going to be able to destroy this bunker unless Jinro cancels it, and there it is, the cancel going down. So no aggression whatsoever coming out here, well defended by Nestea. And meanwhile, inside Jinro's base is going for a factory followed by a command center, so getting ready to expand while making a switch here. Seems like we're gonna have some Hellions coming out. No signs of blue flame, by the way. There it is, the first couple of Hellions. I wonder how deep will Jinro go on his Hellion play. For now he's getting a tech lab, so you might be seeing some sort of switch going on after he puts out the certain amount, the right quantity of Hellions that Jinro has planned for this game. While this Zergling arrives here, just taking a look, obviously spotting what's going on there on the front of the base and seeing those Hellions coming out. So the roast fest will be beginning here. Incoming the barbecue on new wheels, roasting one of those Zerglings, and now being backed up by that couple of Marines. While inside the base we do have the switch again, attaching to the tech lab and going straight into siege tanks. So no blue flame, no mass Hellions. We're gonna go transition into plenty of siege tanks to back up the Marine force, I'm assuming, while we have this small skirmish happening here in front of the base from Nestea, the natural exo, with all of those Zerglings trying to defend. Still no speed kicking in for the Zerglings and getting all of them roasted. Well micro there by Jinro, killing all of those Zerglings, and now gonna be able to get closer and closer to those mineral lines It's basically the place where Jinro wants to go. There it is, arriving here on the main base from IMNestea. And will he be able to reach those mineral lines? Yes, he will. There they are. A single Hellion left. I don't think this guy is going to be able to do much. For now, the Queen is the only sort of defense that IMNestea has inside his main base. He's not producing more, so I think he's confident that he will be able to finish off this Hellion with no more Zerglings popping out. He's just committed to get that drone force rolling on both mineral lines. Yeah, and seems like he's right. He's going to be able to defend this. This Hellion is still hidden there, trying to harass as much as possible, but now some Zerglings kicking in with speed, showing up and finishing it off, backed up by the Queen that was able to throw that last blow, that last poke onto the Hellion force and finishing it off. Meanwhile, here on Jinro's side, there it is, he's going to prepare to expand, backed up by a couple of Marines, only 4 Marines and 2 siege tanks, but enough to just maintain any aggression away from his natural exo while he lands his orbital command and starts working on his mineral line. Meanwhile, on the back of the base, more racks coming out. He's playing out of 3 racks already, with the tech lab being attached there on that one. And as well, this seems to be a fairly standard Marine siege tank composition now for Jinro. There's not much else going on. While here on IMNestea's side, he's stacking up to the lair tech, going for the next layer of tech. Roach Warren already set there and ready to go, meaning that there won't be more Hellions showing up here without IMNestea intercepting them with that acidic saliva from the roaches. So he just has the proper counter to stop any more Hellion harass. Though Jinro is not heading that way, he just used that couple of Hellions to try to harass a bit more and buy more time for him to land his natural expo, and at the same time prepare his force, the one that apparently will be used to make another push soon enough. As you can see, plenty of siege tanks with Marines. Taking a look here on the unit composition, 15 Marines, 4 siege tanks now against 6 roaches, 3 queens, 5 Zerglings. Those 15 Marines, they're gonna be a menacing force. The shield upgrade is getting almost finished, no signs of stim pack, so that's an advantage for the Zerg player for now, obviously. And meanwhile, I do see there's a lot of upgrades going on for those roaches, the carapace, the glial reconstitution, and also the macro hatch getting popped here on the front of this natural expo. And there's already a spire somewhere. Oh, there it is. So, gonna transition into some Mutalisk play while Jinro advances to the middle of the map and is heading towards IMNestea's bases. Will he be able to do anything with these forces? The roaches might be able to withstand the pressure. There it is, already with siege tank advancing here, trying to make that creep highway recede, and here comes the roaches getting blasted away, with those Zerglings getting a nice surround on the siege tanks, trying to chew down as much of that mech force as possible, but not even close. Jinro just blasting away onto the forces from IMNestea, getting closer and closer to this hatchery and the macro hatch, and now he's going to be able to start shooting down the buildings here on the natural exo, backed up by this ground forces here, the siege tanks that will provide the cover for the Marines to just shoot everything down. Oh, that is getting really close. He's going to lose his macro hatch. No, he's not. All the roaches with the queens trying to help out here, making a sturdy line. Defense here by IMNestea, well contained. More roaches coming out. Nice timing by IMNestea on his roaches popping out of those cocoons. But there's still more forces advancing from Jinro, and Jinro slowly getting thwarted. Well defended by IMNestea. A very close call, keep that in mind. 2 roaches against this amount of Marines and siege tanks. No, it's still not enough. He's gonna have to pop more Zerglings, and now there's finally the Mutalisks coming out, so seems like he's gonna be able to defend this, losing an Overlord, and now the remaining forces from Jinro probably won't be a match for what's coming out of those hags on the hatcheries. There it is, a wave of Zerglings chewing down on those siege tanks and taking care of the remaining Marine forces. Well defended by IMNestea. Quite a risky maneuver there, very well timed on his production as well. But he was able to get enough reinforcements to defend while he prepares the first Mutalisk wing. As you can see, still not very big, it's just like 6 Muters or something like that, and at the same time he cleared the path here, he cleared the rocks, and he's trying to advance now to clear the path all the way up north. So I'm assuming that instead of expanding to the front of his main base, as you can see, on a more exposed position and dangerous because it's close to your opponent, he's going to try to expand all the way up north. Meanwhile, on Jinro's side, preparing his 3rd base, there's the command center, getting turned into an orbital command. And inside the main base, let me take a look. Plenty of switches going on, Starport getting some medivacs, so fairly standard build for now. Plenty of racks to back up that bio, another factory, also reactors getting attached to those racks. So this is going to be clearly a lot of Marines with siege tanks all day long. Not only for that early stages, for mid-late game, it's going to be the way that Jinro will be going. I wonder if he's going to try to mix any sort of special unit later on, but but for now it's clearly the path that he's heading. And at the same time, with IMNestea flying here and noticing that his opponent is preparing to expand to this area, he will be knowing the exact timing on the moment that this orbital command will land, and he's going to be able to measure his attacks and decide when he should be pushing again to try to harass here on this third. Hopefully it's going to be sometime soon before way too many defenses are going to be established there. And taking a look here on the back of the base from Jinro, armory going down, so probably a counter on the shape and form of Thors to thwart any aggression coming out of those Mutalisks. Here on the front of the base there's plenty of production units, and we have there the engineering bay working on the upgrades, also allowing for those missile turrets. And here it comes, more Mutalisks advancing towards the main base from Jinro. Seems like that IMNestea is just trying to keep the pressure, keep Jinro busy, taxing on his multitasking, forcing him to commit some mistakes, while Micron here hold of this Mutalisk going back and forth onto Jinro's bases. But for now Jinro seems to be quiet inside the bases from IMNestea. Let's take a look. Well, not much going on here. There's a Baneling's nest there. Here on the base the Spire is ready, working on with his Evo chamber on the upgrades, and then meanwhile that third base is already rolling. This is going to provide him with a nice boost on his economy. As you can see, he's toe-to-toe with the Terran player, something that is not very easy, as you might imagine. He's even pulling a little bit ahead, but especially when the Terran player is now on 3 bases and will have mules dropping down from those 3 command centers, it's not easy to keep your economy fairly close to your opponent. He's even exploding. Look at that, 2200 against 1700. So well played here by IMNestea, still maintaining his economy advantage, and this is going to translate into a bigger army or a faster way of replenishing your army after every major encounter. Taking a look again, let's see here, well defended. It's double engineering bay here for Jinro. On his third, grabbing the gas. There's not much else going on here. Inside his main base, we do have the armory already here on the back. No signs of Thors for now, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be coming out soon enough. And this Mutalisk force, this is a menacing force. We need to be careful with these guys. They're just very menacing. Very well defended there by Jinro with the missile turrets, but the forces are just way too much. Way too many mutas there. They were able to just destroy that couple of missile turrets so quickly. And here they come. They're going to be fly back home while we have some sort of a small skirmish here in the middle of the map, just shooting down a single overlord and advancing to gain control of that Xel'Naga watchtower. Actually at the moment he's dominating both of the Xel'Naga watchtowers, but seems like they might be planning to some sort of battle here in the middle of the map. As you can see, Zerglings and Banelings trying to keep themselves hidden behind the shrubberies, while this Mutalist trying to make a proper approach to the forces that Jinro has been massing up here, but well, doesn't seem he has even close to enough to face this quantity of Marines, and he's even attempting to push there, and boy, he lost a lot of Mutalists there. Ooh, that gotta hurt. There's way too many Marines here. Upgrades 1-1 already. Let's see the Mutas. Mutas are on 1-0. I mean, that fight, he was never able to win it. He didn't stand a chance. And we do see that IMNestea meanwhile grabbed this fourth, so he's just engaging his macro mode and going completely bonkers on his economy. He's going to be able to produce so much. Whoa, what we're going to have here? Oh, it's static defense as a spine crawler. Advancing the forces from Jinro towards his opponent's natural expo once more. Instantly here, the Mutalist showing up and defending this aggression. I'm going to try to keep it low on the HP bar, so this might be a bit more watchable, let's call it like that, or else it's just a bunch of bars running back and forth. But I'm going to try to keep them on the Marines probably. We do see that Jinro is just slowly trying to gain control of this area, this choke point that gives access to the natural expo from IMNestea, and advancing while there's a big Muta wave there. Whoa, that small group of Marines, they're clearly gonna be the test subject. Poor guys, and here it comes, all the forces from IMNestea advancing, Banelings, Zerglings and Mutas surrounding all the forces from Jinro. Oh, they're just melting everything down. The Banelings clashing against the bio forces, and Jinro wasn't micro them properly, basically lost all of his forces there. Beautiful defense here by IMNestea. Very well microed and still with plenty of forces remaining, so forcing Jinro to head back home once more. Try to replenish his army, try to reinforce his army, because he just got a big hit on his unit composition. While we do see here the Mutas intercepting one Medivac and heading again to these Xel'Naga watchtowers, taking the map control from the clutches of Jinro. He has to clear this Marine as well, but this is going to be done right away. Yeah, there it is. And meanwhile, we do have here, let's see, single Zergling. Seems like that IMNestea is just distributing all of his units all around the map, so he gained total control, and every time Jinro moves out of his 3-base play, you will be able to notice it right away. So well played there on the map dominance for IMNestea. Apparently there's going to be some sort of drop getting prepared there. Meanwhile, let me just take a look here inside the base. So many barracks, all of them with reactors, so this is going to be marine madness for Jinro. And here he comes again, advancing, chewing down on a single marine, poor guy. And meanwhile, keep in mind that there's still that medevac getting loaded with lots of marines moving here to the north side. I think he's going to attempt some sort of drop on that area there, maybe on the 4th or on the 3rd base. But for now, the bulk of the forces from IMNestea is just gathering up here on this Selnaga watchtower, the closest one to his opponent's base. And I do see there's one of those towers getting established here, because yeah, there it is, just giving a lot of visibility there. And there it is, this marines dropping there, killing some overlords, and now heading towards the base, the 4th base from IMNestea. Will they be landing behind the shrubbery? Yes. And at the same time there's another drop, so we're gonna have to follow these 2 drops on the pip windows. This one is gonna be chewed down really fast. Well microed, and now passing on to the drop that was ensuing on the main base from IMNestea. Very well defended as well. IMNestea was basically waiting for all of this, and was able to thwart the aggression even before Jinro was able to make enough damage to make these drops profitable. There it is again, attempting to land with all of his marines, and instantly the forces from IMNestea reacting there so quick on his reaction time. Nice there with IMNestea trying to go all the way around. Is going to chew down these forces, and all of those Mutalisks will be able to finish off the medevac. So no more arrests. Very well defended by IMNestea, forcing Jinro to go back home again, scratching his head and thinking what way should he go next, because this multi-pronged assault with medevac drops didn't work very well. Basically he had a lot of defenses. IMNestea had plenty of defenses ready on both spots that he decided to drop. Let's take a look at the economy once more. As you can see, we do have IMNestea still thriving there. A scan going down, clearing some of those creep tumors, and now the forces from Jinro coming here down south. Apparently he's preparing himself to grab a 4th base, while you do see this Mutalist showing up here, and just noticing again the exact moment when Jinro advances to grab his base. So very well played by IMNestea, controlling all of the movements from his opponent, not allowing him to get more of the map unless he says so, unless he allows him to. And oh, there's Zerglings getting sent there to the backlines, oh, there's a big waste of Banelings there on a single marine, but well, he has so many, I mean, probably doesn't matter much. As you can see on the supply, we do have IMNestea leading the charge there, dominating almost 200, with Jinro falling a bit behind, 176. And let's take a look here at the units. Whoa, we're gonna have a lot of Banelings and Zerglings trying to advance here. The forces from Jinro are positioned on this area, as you can see, and he's getting ready to try to advance there and make a push against that big wall of bio with siege tanks. Those Mutalisks, that's so dangerous advancing with them like that. But as you can see, 53 Banelings, 41 Zerglings, and then we have those 18 Mutas, and now getting Infestors and Corruptors. So we're gonna have IMNestea getting a nice solid mix here. There's the Infestation Pit already taking care of his Greater Spire, so we're gonna have some Broodlords coming out, I'm sorry. And this is gonna be a very solid unit composition against the very stable but the very basic marine siege tank composition from Jinro. I mean, he's keeping it very low tech, and obviously we know how solid marines and siege tanks are, but he's gonna need something else against Broodlords and Infestors, because those 2 guys combined are gonna do madness there. And here it comes, a push advancing here from IMNestea straight into this 4th base. Oh, he's lifting his command center just in time to avoid having all of those Banelings clashing, but meanwhile, oh, massive damage done there with the remaining forces from IMNestea apparently advancing towards his opponent. What, the Natural Expo? Yes, seems like to be the case. He's gonna keep rolling with his Zerglings and Banelings, trying to enter the main base, and yes, he's gonna enter the main base. Those forces from Jinro getting melted away, only a couple of Marines remaining there, and now we're gonna have Zerglings and Banelings getting released and wreaking havoc on the main base from Jinro. Jinro doesn't have much to do here. His defenses are way displaced, Finally, some Marines with siege tanks showing up. Keep in mind there's still mutas here and Zerglings trying to focus fire on the add-ons, trying to destroy several of the add-ons attached to the racks. So basically reducing the production capabilities from Jinro, and finally it was cleaned with the Jinro landing his command center again here on his 4th base, but taking no profit whatsoever of this command center landed here, and he needs to escape with it or he's gonna lose it. Yep, it's official, he's gonna lose it. This let me see the upgrades on these mutas. 2-1, destroying that command center. So another blow on the plans from Jinro. Let's see on the economy. Oh, there's a big difference there. 87 against 54 harvesters, with IMNestea already going for his 4th base here, just thriving on his economy. Look at this. He keeps it balanced and really close to 2,000 for most of the game, while Jinro is getting a big hit below 1,000, and well, that will translate into much lower army replenishment, and at the same time, well, we're gonna have IMNestea just able to throw Zerglings and Banelings to his opponent and just replenish it right away instantly. And seems like that Jinro is gonna attempt to go for some more drop play. We do have some movement going on here on this north position. He draws with his forces back into his 3rd and 2nd base on that choke point that connects both those bases, and apparently he's gonna attempt another medevac drop here. 2 medevacs loaded with Marines, dropping once more behind the shrubbery here. Oh, that one is gonna show up, and it's time for him to advance here to this 4th base, while we can witness there on the south position we're gonna have another drop ensuing. Oh, major blast. This drop was thwarted so fast. Those Marines, he wasn't taking care of them, and those Banelings just basically smashed and melted all of that Marine meat. And here it comes, the 2nd drop that I was talking about, here on the main base, focusing the fire on the static defenses. There we go, spine crawlers down, and now, oh, going straight for the tech. Look at this, he's focusing the fire on the Greater Spire. Oh no, big damage done here, now focusing the fire on the Infestation Pit, and nice shot, very well done here by Jinro. This was a successful drop, destroying all of the production facilities here on the main base. Finally, the Corruptors showing up with Infestors and Mutalisks and finishing off that assault. And meanwhile, there's a very big red blob advancing here. Marines and siege tanks going for this 5th base from IMNestea, focusing the fire here, destroying this 5th base. I think that this hatchery doesn't stand a single chance, but meanwhile you can follow on the pip. There's another big incursion happening a bit behind here. I'm gonna follow it now with all of those Brood Wars, Infestors and Corruptors. The big killing composition, the killer composition for Zerg players on the late game that will allow IMNestea to dominate here, thwart the assault once more, forcing Jinro to escape with just a small bulk of the remaining forces. And at the same time we do have that big Corruptor force that you guys were able to see that will be able to finish off what's left of the forces from Jinro, I would say. 34 Marines, 6 Vikings. Jinro just trying to get a fast counter to the Broodlord play, but I mean, with that amount of Mutalisks and Infestors on the game as well, I don't think those 6 Vikings will be able to do much. There they are, they're gonna meet up here in the middle of the map. Mutas trying to escape, Corruptors getting in place to get in range for those Vikings, forcing Jinro to run back home once more. And here they come, advancing with these Broodlords, the slow Broodlords just inching their way towards the bases from Jinro. Notice that meanwhile Jinro is trying to clear the path to come down south and try to escape, getting pinned against some wall, against some block there. And here he comes. Oh, all of those Vikings are going to get intercepted by the massive amount of Corruptors, with those Broodlords just destroying the forces from Jinro and fungal growth on top of the bio forces, meaning that, well, Jinro didn't have much else to run to. I mean, it was over. As you can see, he was completely pinned on this position. He was trying to escape but wasn't going on time to clear the destructible rocks. And, well, the Broodlord force with the Infestors destroying and grinding down the ground forces, while the Corruptors, as you can see, had plenty of those Corruptors with 2-1 upgrades, were able to shoot down the Viking forces. So, well, there was not much left for Jinro on this battle, and he was just forced to get out of here. GG, before he just got completely smashed, and his plan just completely failed on this battle. I mean, IMNestea was able to dominate like half of the map, as you can see at the moment. He did have a blow done here. The major blow from Jinro, I would say it was here when he destroyed the tech, but it was way too late. By then IMNestea had this massive economy. Look at that, 6,000, almost 7,000 on the minerals, and 1,500 on the gas. I mean, he was just having a tremendous economy, was expanding all over the place, and Jinro didn't stand a chance. He basically was very late on the econ game, and his expansions were just not enough to keep the pace against this massive economy that IMNestea was able to put out for most of the game. Just taking a look here, see if there was anything else. The Marines were on 3-2 on the upgrades, while here, let's take a look at what else does he got. The Queen there had the Carapace. Oh, we had the Ultras coming out with 3-2 upgrades, so we would be having Ultras, and a nice transition here by IMNestea, probably to catch his opponent by surprise, force him to make a ton of Vikings and then go for Ultralisks. And he was actually rebuilding his production facilities, as you can see, taking care already of his Great Aspire. So yeah, he was completely on top of his game, and Jinro didn't have much to say about this. Well, game done. Was fairly action-packed. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, okay? See you all later, have fun.